The meeting between the two men was not auspicious. Edison belonged to the direct current school of thought, and Tesla was not only in opposition to direct current, but was actually the inventor of alternating current. Furthermore, Edison was lacking in technical education. He was totally unable to understand Tesla's ability to visualize a problem in its entirety without doing any mechanical work on it or following the usual trial and error method. Yet Edison was conscious of Tesla's great value, and while he could not afford to let it be known that he had not hired him, rather grudgingly he employed Tesla, and almost at once Edison was placed in a position from which only the incomparable Tesla could rescue him. The finest passenger ship of the day was called the Oregon. Edison had installed one of the electric light plants on the steamship, and the vessel was ready to set sail. However, the lighting plant failed completely, and Edison was unable to find the cause of the difficulty. Tesla was dispatched to the ship late one night, and by the following morning had the dynamos functioning perfectly. This incident served to advance his prestige with Edison. When he later approached Edison with a plan to improve the design of the Edison dynamos and at the same time lower the operating cost, Edison not only agreed, but offered Tesla a fee of $50,000 if the work came up to expectations. Tesla labored at the task for many months, putting in many hours of overtime daily. He completed designs for 24 types of dynamos. Some of the machines were built and tested and proved to be very satisfactory. Patents were taken out by Edison. When the entire job was finished, Tesla requested the $50,000 which he had been promised. Edison, however, claimed that the agreement had been merely a joke, whereupon Tesla resigned his job immediately. The Strasbourg incident had been repeated. It was the year of 1885. Had Tesla known the heartaches that lay ahead of him, he might not have had the courage to continue his efforts to provide alternating current for a world that seemed to offer him nothing but scorn. Looking back over Tesla's entire life, it can be seen that he never capitulated to the evil money system which prevails on this planet. Again and again, just as he was about to grasp and use the contaminated medium of exchange, it was snatched from him. This left Tesla free, but the karma engendered descended upon humanity. Even today, 15 years after Tesla's death, humanity still awaits the Superman's great inventions which could give untold comfort to physical plane existence. And the reason? A lack of funds adequate to develop the inventions on a worldwide scale. Tesla would settle for nothing short of global operations, bring help to all the peoples of the earth. It is very significant that he wished to encompass the planet with his work, and in the case of the interplanetary communication set, the solar system. Being a Venusian, he could not produce inventions that would remain earthbound. The Superman was restless to grasp the extended hand of interplanetary friendship, to prepare the dark star of Earth for its great cosmic initiation into solar freedom. But in 1885, the financial world was not ready to give up its evil interest in the dark star. It perhaps is even less ready today. But today the Christ forces have all dark manipulators on the run, and happily for humanity, it will be the last run. The forces of light are now able to stand firmly on the side of humanity and fight evil to a finish. In 1885, financial matters were handled with shrewdness and cunning. Honesty was easily set aside by the fortune makers of the day. At this time, a group of promoters offered to finance a small company to promote Tesla. They were to pay him a modest salary and were to reward him on a grand scale with stock in the company. He thought he saw an opportunity to develop alternating current. But once the company had been formed, Tesla was obliged to develop an arc light for street and factory illumination. It was to be a type of light which the promoters could use to further certain schemes of expansion. The light was developed and Tesla took out patents on his design. However, the company had been organized in such a tricky manner that when Tesla was awarded his stock, he soon found it to be worthless. The promoters prospered, and Tesla was left without funds. He then struck bottom in his American venture, for by the year of 1887 he was actually forced to dig ditches and take other laboring jobs at $2 a day. But even this provided the ladder on which he climbed to success, for the foreman in charge of the ditch digging recognized Tesla as a man of genius. He introduced him to Mr. A.K. Brown of the Western Union Telegraph Company. Mr. Brown, in turn, interested a friend in Tesla. The two men put up sufficient money to finance the Tesla Electric Company. In April of 1887, Tesla opened his own laboratory and workshop on South Fifth Avenue, now West Broadway, and found himself a neighbor of Edison. Edison had turned down Tesla's idea for alternating current, striving to boost the prestige of direct current. Yet in the end, Tesla won the competitive fight, despite the fact that he was backed by limited funds, while Edison was financed by J.P. Morgan. Tesla's hour had struck, and ever thereafter the dark star was to be illumined by his incomparable genius. It is impossible even today to evaluate the virgin field of electrical science which Tesla explored within a few months after his new laboratory was opened. The United States Patent Office could not easily grasp the scope of his work. They considered his inventions so original and so basic that they simply started issuing a succession of patents that brought the new age of power to birth in one mighty surge of advancement. The entire electrical world of 1887 was engulfed by the sweeping new advance. It can now be seen in retrospect that in the 70 years which have since elapsed, civilization has not yet absorbed even the basic fundamental scientific achievements produced by Tesla. As for the philosophy of Tesla, it is hardly known that he had anything to offer in that field, as perhaps he did not, for his philosophy had already been presented by Jesus. Since Western minds had failed to grasp even the basic teachings offered down through the countless centuries by the hierarchy, and then had ignored the true meanings underlying the work of Jesus, it is abundantly clear why Tesla did not bother to waste his time tossing pearls. Within 6 months after Tesla opened his laboratory, in 1887, he applied to the Patent Office for a single patent covering his entire electrical system, which he had designed at that time. The Patent Office was overwhelmed by this package deal and insisted that Tesla break his single patent down into 7 parts. This was done, and in April of 1888, he applied for 5 more patents, which were granted. Toward the end of 1888, he was issued 18 additional patents. By this time, the entire scientific world was not only amazed but completely baffled by the sudden manner in which their cherished concepts were swept away overnight. It was not easy to make such a quick and monumental adjustment to new values, especially in view of the fact that many of the scientists and technicians of the day, then as now, prided themselves on being strong-minded, free-thinking men who were capable of standing on their 2 feet and meeting the issues of the day. They also prided themselves on being God-fearing men, independent men, who, if they wished to invent a machine, could do so without calling upon the aid of the Creator. But in some mysterious fashion, the Creator had somehow got back on the job through Tesla. So these God-fearing men looked everywhere for the answer except in the right place.